Hello everyone, and welcome to today's PV Tech Talk webinar with DAH Solar, where we'll be learning about SolarUnit, the world's first integrated solar PV system aimed at making rooftop and balcony solar even better. I'm Andy Colthorpe, editor at Solar Media, the publisher of PV Tech and Energy Storage News. When we look at residential solar PV markets around the world, a key and obvious trend is that more people than ever want them and are making the decision to invest. When you look at the big picture, that investment is, of course, an investment in the green energy transition. That's obviously important to many people that go solar because it's an investment in all our futures. But it's also an investment for the individual household too. It's an investment in energy independence and an investment that can help lower energy costs over the long term. With the cost of electricity from the grid either rising sharply or fluctuating wildly in many parts of the world, there's never been a better time to go solar, and millions of people around the world are doing exactly that. But as with any investment, there are a lot of different things to be aware of, and making the right decisions can sometimes be a challenge. Households getting a PV system need to think about cost, and they need a product that can meet their needs perfectly. And while they may not need to think so much about how a solar array will look on their rooftop or balcony, it's obviously something most people care about too. With all of that in mind, it's great for us at PV Tech to be talking today with Roger Cai from DAH Solar, because the company has some really exciting products based on addressing the biggest considerations of end customers, as well as some of the biggest challenges facing installers and distributors. Products like SolarUnit and the DAH Solar full screen PV module not only look good, but have also been specifically designed to make designing and installing solar systems easier, quicker, and cheaper, but also designed on a technical level to improve performance. Today's webinar will feature a short presentation from Roger, who is DAH Solar Sales Director for Europe, where he'll be presenting SolarUnit, the full screen PV module, and DAH Solar's N-type TopCon PV modules. After that, Roger and I will have a short discussion, and I'll be asking him all about the products and why they can be so effective. As always, interaction with you, our audience, is very important to us. So please put your questions for Roger and DAH Solar into the questions tab on the right-hand side of your screen. It's likely we won't be able to answer all of your questions, but we'll do our best. And for anything else, DAH Solar will be happy to answer and discuss them with you after today's session. So with all of that in mind, and without any further hesitation, I'd like to hand over to Roger. Roger, over to you.
Okay, thanks, Andy, for the introduction. Here is my presentation. So, hello, everyone. First of all, warmly welcome to join our webinar, which is organized by PV Tech. I'm Roger from DH Solar, and I'm currently in charge of the sales of European market. I joined DH Solar last year in May, and before that, I have worked 7 years in PV industry, 2 years as after-sales technical support engineer, and 5 years as sales manager for European market. And actually, what attracts me most to join DH Solar is the determination that management focus on R&D and also the innovative products and technology that we have got right now. I will introduce them later one by one. And first of all, please allow me to introduce a little bit about our company. And DH Solar is specialized in manufacturing of PV products since 2009. Our headquarters is based in Hefei, Anhui Province, and which is in the eastern part of China, around 3 to 4 hours by train from Shanghai. So besides the headquarters in China as operation center, we have also set up German, Japan, Brazil, and US branch office to act as regional sales center. Until now, we have delivered our high-quality products to more than 100 countries all over the world. We are ranking top 3 on e-commerce and top 4 for brand influence in Brazil. And DH Solar is a fast-growing company. The compound growth rate of export for last 5 years is around 90%. And we are also on the way to IPO next year in 2024. As for European markets, we delivered around 500 megawatts last year, and this year our plan is to make it double into 1 gigawatt. And on this slide, you will see our current production capacity. We have now 2 gigawatt wafer capacity, 3.5 gigawatt cell capacity, and 5 gigawatt module capacity, of which 3 gigawatt cell and 3 gigawatt module are based on N-type TopCon technology. Besides this, we also have capacity for 200,000 sets of SolarUnit, which is the world's first integrated PV system developed by DH Solar. Our company has around 2,000 employees, and 15% of them are from R&D team. We are not aiming to expand quickly in production capacity, but we really want to focus on R&D, and we would like to provide our clients creative, innovative, valuable, and premium products. And now we are getting into the most exciting part of this webinar, our products and technology innovations. I will now introduce the standard products that every manufacturer can produce, such as different cell dimensions, half-cut technology, monofacial or bifacial. I will only introduce what's special from DH Solar. And the main topic today for this webinar is SolarUnit. But before that, I would like to introduce also about full-screen technology as well as N-type TopCon technology, which are applied in SolarUnit. And let's start with the first one, full-screen technology. So why do we have the idea to design full-screen PV module? Actually, we came up with this idea 3 to 4 years ago when we see that a lot of dust accumulated at the bottom of the modules, especially for some commercial rooftop projects with smaller installation angles. The dust will not only affect the cells at the bottom, but also the whole strings, and it will affect the generation of the electricity a lot. So that's why we are thinking to produce a type of module with front-side frameless design to solve this problem. And with the frameless design of front side, the dust and water will not stock at the bottom of the modules. And it takes us 2 years to design, develop, and make it ready for mass production. And since we start delivery of full-screen modules from end of 2021, we received a lot of great feedbacks from our customers about full-screen modules. So there are 3 main advantages for our full-screen modules. Firstly, the frameless design makes our module look more elegant. And secondly, the workers will feel more comfortable and convenient when they transport and install our full-screen module, since we have the 128 degrees R-curved surface angle design. And for the regular module, the frame has the 90 degrees angle. But the most important thing is about the power generation increase. We have tested our full-screen modules and the standard modules on the rooftop of our own factory for continuously 2 years, and we see that there is around 6 to 15% additional generation for our full-screen modules compared with the standard modules. And of course, customers also have doubt about this data because this is done by ourselves, and that's why we also sent our full-screen module to the third party, to TUV, to the field test, and they tested for 1 month, and they get the results 11.5% additional generation compared with the standard modules. So you see that it's just in the range that we get. I think this is the biggest advantage of our full-screen modules and the real benefit we can bring to our customers, especially right now the electricity price in Europe is so high, and more generation means more money for customer. And we have also applied global patents for full-screen modules in 18 countries and regions, and including the European Union. So other manufacturers cannot produce it. And this is special for DH Solar. And second technology is Untitled TopCon. And we all know that TopCon modules have advantage of higher efficiency, high bifacial rate, better low light performance, low temperature coefficient, and lower degradation rate. And what we can do is to combine the full screen technology and the TopCon together and make it full screen TopCon module. And here comes our leading actor, SolarUnit. It is an integrated PV system with PV module, microinverter, and accessories such as AC cables, ECU, for monitoring, and so on. And the concept of SolarUnit is to provide our customers the complete system and also the most convenient solutions for the installations. And it is mainly targeted for residential system up to 10 kilowatts. And it contains full screen technology, 1/3 cord technology, and also the latest microinverter, which makes the maximum conversion efficiency of SolarUnit system into 97.55%. The microinverter in SolarUnit applied the third generation semiconductor gallium nitride to make it smaller in size, but higher frequency response and higher energy density. And here, the idea to develop SolarUnit is to make it easier for residential system installation and shorten the installation process. If the customer would like 3 kilowatts, we send 3 kits. For 5 kilowatts, we send 5 kits. The microinverter is already fixed on the frame of the module before it leaves our factory. And all DC and AC sides are designed with plug-in connection, and it is easy to extend another set or few sets with T-core AC bus. SolarUnit is also a design-free product since all the electric equipment are included. And it can be installed at different orientations since each unit operates independently and will not affect each other. And that's why it perfectly suits for complex rooftop installation and to improve rooftop space utilization rate. And at the same time, we see that there is also huge demand for balcony PV system, especially in Germany, Austrian markets. And that's why we also make some adaptation based on our SolarUnit into 600 and 800 version. And the difference is that for balcony PV system, we make separate package for every single set. And since the balcony PV system will only apply one set of SolarUnit. And also we add the plug at the end of AC cable to make it able to be directly put in the socket. And in every set of balconies system, it contains module, microinverter, ECU for monitoring, and AC bars. And brackets, combiner box, and ammeter are also optional for choice. And that's all for my presentation. Let's make some difference together with our creative product, SolarUnit. Thank you all for your attention.
Thank you very much, Roger. It was a great presentation, and I think, I think our audience will be keen to ask you some questions. But before we get to that, I'd like to ask you some questions first. So let's do that. And I think what's really interesting to me, and we'll get into this topic a bit later, is that there's a lot of very nicely designed products out there. It's a lot of people, smart people, working on technologies. But what really interests me is that the DAH solar products you're talking about today have really been specifically engineered to meet the needs of the customers rather than innovation or technology for its own sake. So I think that's really something worth thinking about. Roger, would you like to put your camera on so the people at home can see you?
Yeah, sure.
Excellent. That's great. Thanks. Thanks. Good to see you. So I think one question that, probably a lot of people might ask is, we have real growth in solar PV installations, particularly in key markets like Germany and Brazil and lots of other places. But we also have growth of interest in energy storage. So can SolarUnit in particular be matched with residential energy storage systems? And can you maybe tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. And the storage is also a quite hot topic right now in Europe, I think. And currently, our solar units, the V1 version, can be matched with energy storage systems, and it needs to work with an energy storage PCS. And yeah, so for our our R&D team, and is also currently developing the second version of SolarUnit, and the second version will achieve deep interaction with our own energy storage system and EMS.
Yeah, of course. And, in particular, I think in Europe, the demand for residential energy storage is rapidly expanding, which I'm sure you've noticed. So I think definitely, both customers and the industry really need to be, ready for that, don't they? I think.
Yeah.
And I think, one of the things that I think is really important, perhaps, or that, customers will want to know is kind of the cloud-based services, monitoring and the cloud platform server for SolarUnit. So where's that located? And can you tell us a little bit about how that will kind of interact with the markets where it's installed? Sorry, where the systems are installed?
Sure. Our cloud platform is located in Hong Kong, and Dear Solar always obeys relevant laws and regulations on information security in various countries. And we always pay attention to user information security protection during the production development phase.
Okay, that's really important to know, and I think, and I expect perhaps some of our audience might have some further questions about the cloud server, but that's all from me on that topic. And I think one of the really key things that we were talking about in terms of the challenges for the industry and for the households that SolarUnit helps to solve. One of them you mentioned is the amount of time that SolarUnit can save during the actual installation process compared to separately installing, the modules, PV modules, and microinverters. So, if you could give us an idea of how much time SolarUnit can save versus, a more, let's say, conventional PV system in terms of installation.
Yeah, actually, 1 year ago, we have sent a few sets of SolarUnit to one of our customers, and they have conducted the trial installation. And according to their feedback, due to their fully plug-in design and no need to install the microinverter, as well as the free design for the system. So after the comparison, SolarUnit can save approximately 30 to 50% of installation time compared with the regular PV module plus separate microinverter. And of course, it also depends on the specific installation cases.
Right, of course, and time is money after all, so it's pretty important to save that. And I guess a streamlined and quicker process probably means an easier process as well, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I really like the look of the full screen module, but of course it's not just about the look; it's also about what it can do and how it can improve performance. So you mentioned that it's verified through testing with TUV or TUV, and verified to offer a greater energy yield than comparable other modules. I think at the end of the day, though, we're talking about people's investment into PV. So does this add to the overall cost, and how should customers think about that kind of balance between cost and benefit?
Yeah, actually, the cost for our fossil modules is I have to say just slightly higher than compared with the standard module. and it's around 0.002 or 0.003 cents per watt higher. So for one piece of module, it's around €1 higher. But with the full screen design, I think the customer could get 6 to 15% more generation. So I think it's still worth for investment of our full screen modules.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good balance between cost and benefit, I think, isn't it? If you're only talking about such a small difference, I guess. And I mean, back to SolarUnit, which obviously the full screen module is part of, but SolarUnit is an integrated system, and it's quite unique, as you say, kind of the world's first integrated system in the way it's integrated. But you know, I think we're talking today a lot about answering customers' challenges and questions. So what was behind the, I guess you could say, the origination of the concept, and then, you know, the design of the product after that?
Yeah, there is indeed a very interesting story behind the conception of SolarUnit. And in 2018, our CEO visited one of our key customers in Brazil, which is one of the biggest distributor in this market. And they asked us if they can send microinverter to our factory, and we help them to install the microinverter on the frame, and then deliver the module together with the microinverter together back to them, because they think that it takes too much labor and also time cost to install microinverter for every panel at the site. And we did try to do so, but it comes another problem. And the microinverter is too heavy, and when we try to install them on the frame, there is huge risk to break the frame of the panels. And as you know, usually the microinverters are installed on the mounting structures. And that's why we are thinking, since there is such demand from our customer, why don't we develop our own microinverter and make it smaller and more suitable to be fixed on the module frame, and to make it a complete PV system for our customer. So that's why we started the R&D process for the SolarUnit.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that is interesting. And as I say, you know, I really love a product that's kind of designed with the customer needs first. I think that's really cool, I think.
Right.
And I mean, a bit more, maybe a bit more of a basic question here, but I think one that people might want to ask. SolarUnit is being marketed to meet the residential sector's needs. So as you mentioned, Roger, it goes up to 10 kilowatts generation capacity as a standard. But can customers buy larger SolarUnit systems if they want to?
Yes. Here, 10 kilowatt is just an example for the capacity of residential system. And of course, if you have bigger house and rooftop area, above 10 kilowatts is also okay. And currently, the maximum installation capacity for SolarUnit is 35 kilowatts. And we have just finished this project in China 1 month ago.
All right. Wow, that must be a pretty big house, huh?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
It's a villa.
Right. But yeah, as you say, I mean, I think for most households' needs, it's going to be, you know, 10 kilowatts is probably the upper limit, really, I guess, for most people, I guess. All right, just a couple more quick points from me, I think, before we move on to audience questions. But DH Solar is a fairly young company, I think it's fair to say, but it has a presence around the world, and you know, its products have been installed in more than 100 countries already. And you know, you said enormous compound growth over the last 5 years of close to 90%, or you're around 90% for the company. But I'm just wondering what the initial target markets are for SolarUnit and kind of what the availability is in terms of that global presence.
Yeah, and currently we made the first delivery to Brazil, and also right now we are also preparing the stock of the SolarUnit for the European market. And for European market, as I mentioned just now, currently the demand for the balcony system is also very, very huge, especially in Germany and Austria. So currently, I think these are the main target market for us. But of course, we would like to sell the SolarUnit to cover the whole Europe and also gradually to the whole world.
Excellent, excellent. I think one last point is that DAH Solar kind of did design the microinverter technology as well as the integration of the microinverter technology, obviously with the PV module. But and I don't think we have time right now for a very complex kind of technical discussion on how that kind of happened. But could you just maybe just tell us a little bit about that kind of process and how DAH Solar was able to develop this product that can be integrated into the PV module and into the whole system, as you say, without kind of creating a mismatch in cost versus benefit. And yeah, could you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, of course. Although currently DAH Solar is, I think maybe people know us as a manufacturer of PV modules, but I have to say, not really like that. Actually, we focus on the innovation, the R&D for many smart, even the smart modules and also the smart solutions for the whole system. And yeah, so the reason that we can develop the SolarUnit, I mean, from the technical part, is that we have the team for the electric equipment, because 3 years ago we have the team, and at that time we had the idea to develop the smart modules, which can have the function to monitoring every the production of every module. And although that is not a very successful product, but at that time you already have this technical team. And after that, after our CEO visit to the customer in Brazil, and we start this topic, the SolarUnit, and yeah, it's still this team, and yeah, they have the technical background of the smart modules and the electric equipment. So that's why we can develop the SolarUnit during these 3 years.
Oh, okay, so that team, forming that team and working on that early product gave DAH Solar a good foundation to quickly achieve, what could be called a breakthrough, really, I guess, in the microinverter technology and the integrated photovoltaic technology that SolarUnit represents.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Cool. Excellent. Well, Roger, yeah, been really good speaking with you. And but we're not stopping there. We will be taking questions from our audience. So bear with us a few seconds and we will start taking those very shortly. Thank you so much to everyone who's asked a lot of great questions. We do have very limited time today, unfortunately, so we'll just be able to answer a couple of these, I think, now during this session. But of course, DAH Solar will be happy to discuss with you in more detail offline. And some of the questions we got, I think, are quite technical and a bit detailed to actually be able to really, give you a full answer here. So we'll answer what we can now. But of course, you can see the sales email address for Roger and his team on the screen there. Or of course, you can visit DAH Solar online to learn more. So Roger, we've got a lot of questions, as I say, from the audience, and there's quite a lot of interest in the full screen module and SolarUnit. A couple of questions on N-type TopCon as well, but I think one thing that is probably quite good to discuss is around the installation process, but also someone's asking about the mounting systems that might be either required or preferred for this type of module, basically. So, Yeah, so audience member Manuel is asking which mounting do you prefer, and whether mounting is difficult with the modules. Yeah, what's your advice on that, or what's your preference, I guess?
Yeah, I see that a lot of friends have concern about the installation of the force screen module because it's a frame is designed for a front side. Yeah, but of course we definitely have the solution when we design this force screen module, and actually it's not very complicated, and all the clamps and also the mounting structures are the same as standard modules. The only difference when you install the module, for screen modules, you can stick the anti-slip mat on the clamp and then use it for the installation. So the stamp is also standard one, 35 millimeter. And
Right, of course. Sorry, yeah,
yeah,
go on.
and I think all friends here, you can also refer to the videos that we released on our official medias like LinkedIn. So we also have the videos to introduce about the installation process of full screen modules.
Excellent, excellent. Well, sorry for interrupting you there, but yeah, as you mentioned, there's a mat that you can put on the clamps to prevent the scratching with the modules. So clamping from the top side, even with the all glass surface, is not a problem.
Right.
Yeah, and we did answer the question about whether SolarUnit is compatible with residential energy storage systems, and you said yes, it is. Is there anything in particular people need to know in terms of the equipment or the configuration in order to be able to do that? Like, what other sort of equipment might they need?
Sorry.
Is it mainly just PCS, or?
Yeah, the PCS is the mainly needed to match with the energy storage system.
Okay, terrific, terrific. And sorry, yeah, I've got a lot of these questions coming in, so bear with me. There's a few questions actually here on warranties. So someone's asking a couple of questions about balcony solar, which is a topic that I'm quite curious about myself, living in an apartment with a balcony and no roof and no garden. So yeah, so someone's asking about a warranty for the balcony unit, but would you maybe just tell us more generally about warranties for the product range that you've been talking about today?
Yeah, sure, of course. Actually, the main parts are the full screen modules and the microinverter. So for the modules, yeah, we offer the same as the standard module we're selling. So for P-type, we offer 25-year performance warranty, and for N-type TopCon, we offer 30-year performance warranty. And when it comes to the microinverter, currently we offer a 10-year product warranty for microinverter. But as I mentioned, we are developing the second version of SolarUnit. And in second version, we'll offer longer warranty into 20 or 25 years.
Okay. And we had someone from the audience asking where the microinverter is supplied from, but just want to clarify that, as you mentioned, the microinverter is developed in-house by DAH Solar. And I don't know if there's anything you can tell us briefly about why the efficiency of the microinverter is pretty good, and potentially, well, I guess you guys would hope better than others on the market. Is there anything to mention about that, or is that perhaps a bit too detailed to go into for this discussion?
Mm-hmm. Right, that's an interesting topic. I think I can mention about three aspects, which helps to help us to get the high efficiency of SolarUnit. So the firstly, is that we apply the third generation semiconductor technology in our microinverter, and as I mentioned, it has a smaller size but with higher energy density. And secondly, also as introduced, the full screen technology will also bring additional 6 to 15% of power generation. And also thirdly, due to the high voltage and low current design, and the power loss of the whole system is lower, and which makes efficiency of solar unit higher than other microinverter system.
Okay. And I realize it's not my job to be answering these questions here, but someone in the audience asked, what is a solar unit? And I think just to clarify, for the audience member that asked the question, solar unit is basically the integrated PV system assembling the microinverter and module together as a complete unit. So, I think we've still got questions coming in. It's a very, very quick one, actually. You've got quite comprehensive global coverage at the moment. So more than 100 countries you've shipped to. You've got regional offices. One customer from Africa is asking if you have or intend to have an outlet in Africa. And I think this particular person is asking about Nigeria. Is that, I guess that's a little bit out of your area, Roger, since you're covering Europe, but is that something they could inquire about as well?
Yes. Actually, right now our policy is that to prepare stock for European market for the solar unit, but for other markets we are also open for order. And so if the customer has the demand, you can always place the order, and we can produce and deliver directly from China.
Okay, terrific. And one last question, if I may, actually, and I'm sorry, this is kind of more my question than the audience's, but again, on the balcony side of things, it seems to be, I guess it's a little bit of a niche kind of market, and these aren't, huge systems. I think you said they're limited to 600 watt or 800 watt, depending on which market you're in. Like, what's the kind of demand you're seeing for those? And, I'm just wondering, like, what sort of demand you're seeing, really. I guess it's as simple as that.
Yeah, actually, the this kind of demand is also based on the local regulations. Yeah, because the Germany has the regulation of the maximum output of 600 watt system can be directly connected to the grid and no need for the application. So that's why the 600 watt balcony PV getting more and more popular. And in Austria, the maximum output power is 800 watt. So I think this is the main reason that we see such high demand for the balcony PV, especially in these two countries.
Excellent. Well, maybe one day I'll be buying one for my balcony too, then, I guess. All right, excellent. Roger, thank you so much for your time. And, even more importantly, if I may say, thank you to our audience for joining us today. You will be able to watch the recording again on demand via the PV Tech website and on YouTube as well, where we'll be posting that in the coming days, not straight away, but in the next few days' time. That should be online on the PV Tech YouTube account. For anything else, by all means, please do send Roger and his team a message. And, if it's a technical question, I'm sure sales can pass that on. I'm still seeing questions coming in from the audience, so I expect there will be, it'll be quite busy dealing with some inquiries, Roger, I suppose. But yeah, with all of that in mind, I just want to say thank you very much to all of you that attended and watched. And also, from myself, just say thank you to everyone that is working in the renewable energy industry. It's a real engine of the economy of today and tomorrow. And at the same time, it's renewable energy that is, really making a difference, helping to the environment, helping with climate change, and helping people to manage their own electricity supply and manage their electricity costs ultimately. And great products and great services can help them do that. So I want to say thank you very much from myself and from everyone here at PV Tech and Solar Media. And Roger, thank you so much for your presentation and for speaking with us today.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. It's great to talk to you today, and thank you guys all to attending our webinar.